Hello everybody, it's your old pal Tuna here, and welcome back to another video. Kind of a special video in my opinion because we are in the VanCAF vlog. It is currently May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, so I hope you're all enjoying tacos today. I'm making Korean fusion tacos for dinner tonight because that is the ingredients that I have in my refrigerator. I have kimchi and frozen shrimp and taco shells. I am now starting my prep for VanCAF, and VanCAF is the Vancouver Comic Arts Festival. It's my favorite convention of the year. I try and do it every single year, and it is a comic convention art market basically for comickers. That was such a long-winded way of explaining what that was, but that's okay. Obviously, I still have some stuff left over from the Emerald City Comic Con event that I did, and then as well the CovaCon that you guys saw in that previous video. So I'm not starting from scratch, but I do have to do some restocking, and I have some new products planned. VanCAF is a good opportunity to release new things. I have 2 new sketchbook zines that I'd like to put out. I also have intentions to get some new stickers and print up a bunch of new prints. So I gotta get that done as soon as possible and send those into production so I can have them in hand by May 20th. That is the first day of VanCAF. It is a 2-day event. So I totally neglected to end that clip off properly, but I'm just gonna take you here now into what I'm doing. I can't remember if this was the same day or the following day, but it was basically the first thing that I had to do, which was get these books to print because the turnaround was giving me like 2 days leeway to get them finished up. So the first one that I was doing is pretty simple. That's Montreal Travel Zine. You guys saw the pages for that during my Montreal vlog that I posted. And then this one is me scanning for Sketchy 3 Locked Down. Now, Sketchy is a sketchbook series that I've done for 2 years running. There was a 2018 edition and a 2019 edition, and what I'm working on putting together here is the 2020 edition. I am obviously a little bit behind. I like to do it for the previous year, but 2020, some stuff happened. You might have heard of it, and so this one was delayed, but I was happy to get it done, and it's really fun. It's honestly kind of meditative because I just sort of go through, select my favorites, scan everything up, and then slap it all together in Photoshop there, and I'm dancing along to a 2000s emo alt rock mix here, so overall it was a pretty pleasant process. And then I go ahead and scan. That is the cover illustration for the Montreal zine, done in colored pencils. I was really happy with how that one came out. And then the other one here is just a gouache painting that you saw in my CovaCon vlog that I am now everybody's being noisy outside now, that I'm now scanning to make into a print. So pretty simple, straightforward. And then when I go through, and this one's for the Montreal zine, I just go into Photoshop and I do this thing called Automate PDF, and then it turns my pages into a booklet. Really straightforward, and then I just send that over to the print guys. And I've worked with this printer before a couple times, so my trust level was high, and so I just sent them this PDF with the spreads and figured that they would do a good job, and well, maybe I'll have to wait until the end of the video to find out if they did. And here, because Sketchy's a little bit more complicated, there's a lot more pages, and there is like, I'm putting together collages of these pages rather than just taking the raw scans from my sketchbook. I do have this way of just formatting it so that I can kind of see how all the pages are going to flow together, making sure that there's kind of like, you know, it's sort of exciting from page turn, that you're sort of seeing something different every time you turn the page. This was too big. I ended up doing 40 pages, and yeah, as you can see, I've got like numbers as to which ones are like what the file name is saved as, and then I go through once this is ready and export it exactly the same as the Montreal zine. That's enough for me. Let's enjoy the ASMR of me working on the cover of Sketchy 3. Okay, I have accomplished a lot today. I have the sketchy sketchbook all laid out. That took me a little while. Started it last night. I got really sick to my stomach. Needed to lie down, so I finished it off this morning bright and early when the cat woke me up at 6:45. I selected a handful of drawings to be single vinyl stickers because I basically was out of that particular kind of product. And I'm not really one to reorder stuff. I do it for the sticker sheets because I just have such an enormous back catalog of designs that it feels like a shame to waste them. But with the single stickers, I have way less designs of those. So I picked out some stuff that I thought would just kind of like make a fun sticker basically. And they're gonna be sort of a bargain bin, like rifle through my table kind of item. What else did I do? I actually have my to-do list for Saturday and Sunday and Friday. Yeah, this was kind of like a 3-day to-do list, which was just basically entailing everything that I need to do in order to get all my orders in to be delivered in time for VanCAF. So the only thing left, I'm going to, well, here, let me show you. So I started last night on the design for the cover for Sketchy. I had a sketch that I did. There's a lot of information on this page that is somewhat relevant, but I did those sketches last night. I thought the whole idea of sketchy is like, it's a double entendre. So the cover illustration is always a picture of me looking sketchy, but it's a collection of sketches. And because this one is the Lockdown 2020 sketchbook, I thought it would be funny if I was wearing a mask in it, but I also wanted to have like a kind of face going on, and no face mask, like those two things don't go together. So I had her like pulling down the mask, and then I thought, I don't want anybody to think that this is like some sort of political statement. So I scrapped that and went with me holding up a sketchbook and looking kind of sus over top of it. I did a sketch and started on a version last night. So that was this one. This is done with Copic markers, and I was like vibing and I wanted to see what would happen. I rarely use Copic markers anymore, so I do feel kind of rusty when it comes to that. And I don't know, I stopped drawing it at like in the evening because I wasn't really happy with where it was going, but I thought, okay, well, I'll take a look at it again in the morning and see if I want to stick with that or go with something new. I ended up going with something new, so I just finished it up. There it is, Sketchy Volume 3 Locked Down Edition. I'll tweak it and make it a little more perfect for the actual cover. And while I don't hate the one that I did last night, I'll show you the cover for Volume 2. So it's like, I really wanted it to have kind of a similar palette and a similar cartoony style, whereas this one just doesn't feel the same, you know? Anyway, so I have to scan it. I'm going to edit it together, and from that point, the sketchbook should be ready so I can compile the PDF, and then tomorrow morning, bright and early, I can place that order with a local printing company for the Montreal sketchbooks and Sketchy Volume 3. I think that puts me ready for VanCAF in terms of reordering supplies. Oh yeah, okay, so I got this like app on my Mac called Stickies. It's like a default app, and I realized you could pin Stickies to your desktop. So now I just have my to-do list always in front of me so I can never forget anything. And I looked over and it says Large Space Girls prints. So I have these illustrations that I did. They're gouache illustrations of my 2 OCs from the July 2021, oh yeah, it's 2023 right now, 2022 Patreon print club, and I had made them into little postcard size prints for those rewards, but I wanted to do big poster prints for them, and I was kind of looking for an opportunity, so I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, that's the last thing. I mean, there's tons more to do, don't get me wrong, there's plenty more vlog where this came from, but in terms of ordering stuff, I am no longer in crisis mode. We're getting her done in time. All right, checking in. It is Thursday, May 18th. If you can tell by my voice, I am on day 6 of a cold that I contracted over the weekend. It was setting in while I was watching Eurovision, and I was like, is this a sore throat or am I imagining things? I did take off a bunch of days, like weekend and then the early part of the week, to finish off some other stuff because there's still different work I have to do between now and always. So I got back to really hauling ass on the VanCAF stuff yesterday. That was putting together the new buttons and everything, which was kind of a last minute thing that I decided to do. They're a low ticket item, which is not bad, but as a person who sells a lot of stuff online, buttons are not great because you need to charge parcel shipping costs for something so small. And so I don't make them because what I'm gonna do, charge $3 for a button and then $10 for shipping. Like, no one's gonna buy that. So they're not a product that I focus on very often, but for these in-person events, last minute items, and for trying new things, because I have the button maker, they're really cool. So I put some of those together. The to-do list is going well. There are, I transferred it onto here just because I'm like, just don't trust myself not to forget something if it's not written on a piece of paper for me to refer back to. The main thing that I have to do today that I'm procrastinating on by packing these grab bags that I've been really excited to put together is I have to custom paint a Fashion Cat toy. Now, I haven't really talked about the Fashion Cat toys in great detail. I think there's one video from Vlogmas where I am painting a Fashion Cat for my dad. One of the things is I have this one that I promised to this person, and I want to paint it and deliver it here because they're local to VanCAF. So that is a big thing for today. I'll maybe show some clips of that, we'll see. But I'm procrastinating by packing grab bags, and the grab bags, this is not something I do very often. I did find like the perfect bags. Come on, so cute. And I'm just gonna stuff them full of like $20 to $30 worth of leftover merch, because I don't know if you guys make merch, but I always have tons and tons of leftover stuff, specifically from the Patreon Lunchbox Club stuff, because I often over order to make sure that I will have enough to service everybody each month. I am taking this opportunity to basically clear out some leftover stock and give people a deal. And I mean, literally, who doesn't? Come on, I would buy a grab bag. I think they're gonna be like $15 or something like that. There's a lot of little things I need to do to be ready for this weekend, hence why I haven't had a moment's rest over the past week and a half. But we're closing in on the finish line. Tomorrow I wanna focus on getting all my signage completed. A lot of that's gonna be repurposing old designs and just sort of printing stuff and cutting stuff out. And then I have to sleeve up all my jumbo size prints. Oh my God, I didn't even show you guys those. So this is actually really special. I don't usually do large prints because I send everything in the mail, and it's really expensive, awkward, annoying to have to ship prints that are this big. But for VanCAF and for conventions, like, this is gonna flank me at my table. I've always wanted to print them in this size, and they came out so perfect. So in the interest of protecting them, I have sleeves that I bought, and I'm going to pre-sleeve them before even going to the shows. Okay, and before I go, I want to show you also, I got my zines in, which, let's be real, that's the most exciting part about VanCAF, is the books. So these are my 2 books that I've published for this weekend, basically. 1 week in Montreal, that is my travel sketchbook that you guys saw in my Montreal travel vlog. The print, it came out so good, honestly. I'm so excited. The company that I use is local here in Vancouver, and I don't even get a proof. I just send them my files and I'm like, I believe that you will not do me wrong, and they did not do me wrong. I actually left the edges raw in this zine and didn't color correct the pages very much because I really wanted it to feel like you're just flipping through my actual sketchbook, because it hasn't been edited at all. There was like some stuff I wanted to fix or to delete, and I'm like, no, it's got to be the real deal. And then there's Sketchy Volume 3. It's just a collection of my favorite sketches from that year. No more spoilers. I could just show off new merch for days. We're gonna show it off while we're at the show though, so we'll save some of that for later in the vlog. How's it going? I'm great. How are you? Already off to a crazy busy start. I knew VanCAF would be wild. Last year it was packed for literally the entire day, so we'll see how things go throughout Saturday. Welcome to the con. Hopefully I get a chance to walk around and say hi to people later this afternoon, but let's make some sales, baby. Let's make some sales. Sunday morning, off to a bit of a slower start. I assume everyone is finishing their brunch for the time being, and they're gonna roll in around noon, which is great. Gives me time to set everything up and have a snack myself.
had a minor crisis, which is that I am so smart and did not charge my Square reader last night, which means I would not be able to take card transactions, which is easily 50% of my sales. But the crisis was successfully averted. While I was realizing that I didn't have it charged, my friend had come up to the table, another creator, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't talk. I'm in the middle of like solving this problem, because I thought I was gonna have to text Mark and get him to bring me a charge cable, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you know, I think April, our mutual friend, has one back at their table. Like, you should go and see if you can borrow it. So it all worked out perfectly. It is charging. We are going to be taking payments, baby. And yes, VanCAF Day 2. Chaotic start, gonna be fine. Had a couple of Kit Kat minis to calm my nerves, and hopefully today will be illustrious as well. I'm bagged though, holy moly. I put on extra makeup so people couldn't tell, but like, I got a headache, my throat is sore from talking, and I would just like to crawl back into bed. But we got, I don't know, 8 hours-ish, 7 hours, and then takedown, and then I may sleep.
All right, so it is Saturday, a week later. It's like the 27th or whatever. VanCAF cool down has occurred. I have processed everything, and yeah, basically gotten kind of back into the swing of real life, because leading up to VanCAF, and I mean, you saw it all, was extremely all consuming, which was great, and it all paid off. Thank you so much to everybody who came by my table, whether it was to say hello or to buy something. It means so much to me. I was really surprised at how many people came up and was like, I watch your vlogs, because I mean, I get what, like 1,000 views tops here, and you guys are, some of those people are not only local, but coming to VanCAF and then taking the time to let me know. So thank you so much to everybody and VanCAF and the organizers and whatever. It was a record-breaking weekend for me, which is really cool because that has not been the trend for 2023, so we're gonna take the dubs where we can find them. And my favorite moments, aside from when my friend came by with their cat in their backpack, that's amazing, was somebody walked by and was like this, like looking at my table like this, and they just turned to me and they said, "You're from the internet." And I'm like, yes, that is where I reside 90% of the year. But I have more events coming up this year. They just kind of have been manifesting for me, and I'm following through because I feel that these have been some of my favorite moments so far in 2023. And the next one that I will be at, Seattle, I'm coming for you again. Small Art Mart. You can find the Instagram account with all the information on June 10th and 11th. Tiny little art market. The theme is stickers. It's free for attendees. If you want to come by and say hello, maybe pick up some of the stuff that you saw throughout this video. I'm not gonna have everything there because I have to haul it all down on the bus. I'm keeping it pretty tight, but that should be really fun. I'll be in Edmonton in July, which will be a first for me, so stay tuned, more info coming soon there. And then I'll have one more event here in Vancouver in August. And there's plenty more where that came from throughout the rest of the year. So we will be documenting it all here on YouTube. If you are not in Seattle, Vancouver, Edmonton, I have good news. My shop is currently open. I have most of the stuff that I had at VanCAF available there. Some stuff is sold out, and I'm planning to leave it open just for a few more days, probably till midweek if you're seeing this on the day that the video goes live. So be sure to pop on over there and grab whatever it was you were interested in. But I think that's it for the VanCAF video. It's my first time putting together like a long form vlog, aside from the one that I did like last year before I started taking YouTube seriously. So it was really fun to collect all this footage over the course of a few weeks and put it together. But next week we're going back into weekly vlogs, saying that word correctly. say it a lot. So if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I am uploading weekly on Sundays. If you made it to the video, you probably liked it, so be sure to hit the thumbs up button to tell the algorithm that you did. Anyway, stay sparkly, don't let the cruel world dull your shine, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.